Welcome back to A Closer Look. December is full of holiday celebrations, but nothing can spoil good cheer like an emergency trip to the vet. Here to give us some tips on how to make the holidays better for you and your pets is Officer Tyler Bradley with the Chesapeake Animal Services. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, how can the holidays be a danger to pets?
So there's a lot of different dangers that could happen during the holiday season. One thing we want to keep in mind is you want to leave the leftovers and the table scraps on the table. Make sure that chocolates, candies, things like that are going to be out of reach from your pets because we don't want any unnecessary upset stomachs. Make sure that you do know where your closest emergency vet is as well in regards to situations like that. You also want to be mindful of some of your holiday decorations, ornaments, tinsels, things like that. Our pets can easily mistake them as toys, and then that could also lead to another unnecessary vet visit. Another helpful idea is Christmas trees. We actually recommend you can anchor your Christmas tree with fishing line to the ceiling to ensure that your pets don't knock anything else over and cause any other damage during the holiday
season. Because a cat will jump right on it, right?
They will, yeah.
I don't have a cat, but I would imagine
they will climb right up in there. So that's just one thing to be mindful of.
And I've always heard like chocolate is not good for dogs.
Definitely, sometimes in small amounts it'll be okay, but we don't want them to have it because of the upset stomach. Dark chocolate is the worst.
Really?
And it's actually worse than your regular chocolate. So definitely contact your vet if anything does happen, and they'll let you know how to proceed.
Especially for a small dog, I would imagine that would not be
size
good.
And all that
will make a difference. Now, decorations, food, what about plants? I've heard there are certain plants that could be like a poinsettia, is that something that could be?
Poinsettias are mildly toxic, but you want to be more concerned with actually mistletoes, holly, and lilies. If a cat was to ingest even a little bit, they can start to have GI upset and also kidney failure if it gets to the extreme.
Okay.
So definitely contacting the vet in regards to that too, and just keeping an eye on your pets and what they're messing with, where they're at during the holiday season.
Okay, so definitely. And if you have a cat, maybe consider something artificial.
Right. Yeah.
Just as a safety precaution.
Plants usually work pretty well.
Right, definitely.
Get the job done.
Now, how should you prepare your guests to be around your pets?
So if you are going to have a lot of people coming and going in and out of your house, it can actually stress your animals out. So, and it can be very overwhelming. Having an area of the house that is secluded, that your pet can either go into, you can have it confined, a quiet place for them to relax and just de-stress, is always best. You always also want to keep an eye out on your guests as they're coming and going to make sure that they're not leaving any doors open.
That's a good point.
Make sure that your pets don't slip out. In the case that they do, making sure that they're wearing their form of IDs. If they're microchipped, having that info up to date so that if we pick them up, we can turn them back home for the holidays and they're not having to be in the shelter.
And I know a lot of times children will be the first to just go right up to a pet. So is it a good idea to maybe let
ask first?
Yes, definitely. And let your guests know that, maybe your pet is skittish or just...
Or if you can have them even just confined to a different room to avoid it altogether, it's going to be the best case scenario for everybody.
So why isn't it a good idea to give a pet as a gift for the holidays?
So we want the whole family involved in the process of adding a new family member in. So a couple things that we would recommend instead of just bringing a pet into the household is either wrapping up maybe a collar or a food bowl or something.
That's a good idea.
To give as the gift, and then to go together as a family to pick out the right one that's going to fit in with your family.
Yeah, because I think for me, that's something that's a personal thing. You want to see that connection and pick up.
You actually get there.
Absolutely, because does it happen that people do go ahead and do that and then they surrender the pet after the holidays? Do you see a lot of that?
We get that a lot beforehand and after, or in the summertime when they're no longer the cute little puppy or kitten, and they're bigger now. And so definitely, and considering some of the older dogs too, they make amazing pets.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They're already potty trained. They don't chew everything up.
Not real hyper.
Exactly. So it's good to go and actually meet with them as a family and see what's going to fit in with your lifestyle the best. So.
And it's not fair to the animal if you're having to turn them back over to a shelter because absolutely
they don't understand what's going on.
Certainly, definitely. So that's a good idea to sort of wrap up a collar or something like that because that can be just as exciting to make that trip.
And to know that it's coming afterwards.
So if you're traveling during the holidays, say you're going out of town with your pet, what advice can you give in regard to that?
So make sure while you're traveling to have the animal safe and secure, either in a crate, They have dog seat belts, things like that, just to make sure he's not running around the vehicle. We don't want him to potentially cause an accident. Make sure that you bring your medical records, any vaccine records with you and your pets. That way, if there is an emergency and you have to go to some kind of far-off vet, they'll go ahead and have the records there, and making sure that the animal is also wearing ID as well. So if he were to get out in an unfamiliar area, you can be located.
And nobody ever anticipates that something's going to happen, but unfortunately things do happen, so that would make a big difference, especially if they're on meds or anything like that.
Right.
So tell me about the upcoming adoption event.
So this year we will be partnering with Priority Automotive again for our Home for the Holidays adoption special. It starts the second week of December. We're going to have more information posted on our Facebook page and online in regards to that event. So just keep updated and come take a look.
So it'll be just maybe a specials or something like that?
It's an adoption special.
Okay.
So there will be, I believe, discounted fees and so
Okay, perfect.
trying to get them home for the
And I know
holidays.
you guys have a Facebook page that
Yes,
you are
ma'am.
very active on. It's a great page,
Yes.
so folks can go to that.
Yes, and we'll have more information updated
Okay.
on there
And is
when
it
it
just
begins.
Chesapeake Animal Services, I think is the name of the page,
Yes.
I'm not sure. Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. And they can also go to cityofchesapeake.net
Yes, ma'am.
as well. So, well, thank you so
All right.
much, Tyler,
Thank
for coming
you.
on. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Well, that does it for this edition of A Closer Look. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.